Michael, listen to me carefully. You are a gentleman from Texas, and your parents performed exorcisms on me because I have schizophrenia. I want you to tell me what your experience is, and we just want to hear about it, okay? Please share.
Okay. So basically, it's been about 7 or so years since I was diagnosed with schizophrenia. And I've just been going back and forth from being an atheist to being a believer. And I recently got back from Ethiopia, and this was in January. And my mom took me to a baptism site where there's a geyser that shoots up water from the ground, and they tie about 100 people surrounding the geyser. And they tied me up, and whenever the geyser started to erupt, I couldn't breathe. And, I blacked out. I became unconscious, and I was hallucinating. And this was outside of like the normal schizophrenia hallucinating. This was like full on, everything was changing. And I spent 28 days underneath the geyser, and, people died, during this baptism process. People would routinely ask for like funeral funds, and I'm lucky to have survived. And I definitely believe that the Bible does not offer good parenting advice, because the things that I went through, they are all based on, my parents' religious beliefs. Outside of that, and the worst part about the thing was I was a believer at the time. Like I 100% believed that it was the power of God that was acting and sending my soul to heaven whenever I would be blacked out. And this is what everybody believed. And, outside of that, my mom has like performed exorcisms on me at home. And I would hear the voices. I would hear the voices of the demons. She would communicate directly with them, and I could hear them. I would allow them to talk to her. That's how I could best describe it. Well, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, it could be some kind of like hypnosis thing.
Michael, I'm sorry. I muted you. I just wanted to say that it sounds like you had a very difficult time, and I hope that you are something like that. It would not be unusual for a person who underwent those kind of experiences to require, or at least benefit from, help from a counselor of some kind. And there's no shame in doing it. Do it myself. And I hope that you are seeking out someone to talk to about that, who can walk you through the consequences of having experienced something like that. Sophia, what do you got?
Yeah. First of all, I'd say I'm so sorry that happened. That sounds incredibly traumatic, on top of the fact that you'd also experienced exorcisms at home. And I feel like having your parent who you love, who probably loves you, I mean, I would assume so, do something that feels so scary is awful. And I'm really sorry that happened to you. I absolutely, co-sign what Johnny was just saying there about seeking help. I also see a counselor, and I believe very strongly in counseling. When you mention the Bible's parenting advice, I think it can be so troubling when we see people who love their kids think that they're doing something to help them in their eternal soul that ends up traumatizing them in the here and now. And that's awful. I'm hoping, and this isn't a question you need to answer, but I'm hoping you're safe. I'm hoping you're in a place that can be safe, and if you're not, that there's tons of community resources all around. It looks like you're in our state, and I know that if you look for low-income counseling, there's sliding scales that make these things affordable and accessible. But I think the terrifying part about religion to me is that it will sometimes get people who think they're doing the right thing really hurting others.
Right.
And so I'm so sorry you experienced that.
Yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't suggest contacting Recovering from Religion with regard to some of the experiences that you've had. I'd also say that this also illustrates the point that I was making earlier today, I'm making it now, is that religious, at least certain sects of Christianity, probably certain sects of other religions as well, don't have the person's physical now in this really real world, or whatever simulation that we're living in, experience as something that they need to protect and encourage and improve. They're focused on that other world that's out there. And if they can get you saved, it doesn't really matter what happens here. If you satisfy the check boxes of salvation, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of sinister consequences to that kind of thinking. And I don't know what sect, what religion, whatever it might have been that you belong to, but we at the Atheist Community of Austin, and thus us, we non-believers, we humanists, we who care about that, the skeptical community who care about the well-being of human beings, are thinking about this world, whether it's a simulation or not. Mm-hmm. If it's the real world, we want it to be as good, if you want to put it that way, as possible, as encouraging to human life and well-being as possible. And of course, we disagree on what that looks like, but we're all doing our best and certainly thinking about how to make that contribute to the group effort. But Michael, I hope that you get whatever support you need, and that you recognize that was the past, and now you've got a present and you've got a future that in large part you can construct. Hopefully you are free from that experience and you can construct your own life going forward, and you don't have to be involved in that anymore. So.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that story, because I know you are not the only person who has experienced these things, and you're able to shed light on those and say, you know what, I was a person of faith going in, and that certainly didn't, it sounds like, make you more of a person of faith and didn't actually help you at all. So I hope people take something from that. Yeah. And we care about you, and thank you.